Hey, welcome back to the channel, and this is my review of South Africa versus Ireland. This was a game with huge expectations, and from the starting whistle, they lived up to them, and it was an absolutely frenetic pace, and yeah, as expected, it was well contested all over the pitch. It's well contested from the start, back and forth. Dwayne Vermeulen is in the coach's box, which is kind of surprising. I'm wondering if he's going to be player coach in the future. That would be amazing if he was. Yeah, but on the pitch, both teams are really going at it, and it doesn't really let up throughout the entire match. It's a pretty high pace that both teams set, and absolutely fantastic to watch. Like the game flew by. When they blew for halftime, I couldn't believe it was halftime. It felt like 10 minutes have gone. It was such a high intensity from both teams. South Africa put some good attacking play together, and so do Ireland get through the phases. And Ireland get a turnover, and that was one of the key points in the match. Is that Ireland really in the turnover game, in the jackal game, they really dominated the South Africans. South Africans were just a little bit off the mark, I think, in the ruck, and they tried to spoil Ireland's ball. But if you check the ruck speed, I'm sure it's pretty good for Ireland. And if you can't slow down that ball, if you can't kill that momentum, then you're going to struggle against them. And yeah, the story of the game, a lot of turnovers for Ireland. However, one of the areas I was interested to see was the lineout. Both teams having not unproven hookers, but kind of inexperienced hookers in such a high level game. And Ireland really come off second best in the first half. They lost so many lineouts in the first half. Like I think it was like they lost 4 in a row, and but it was a good on-field call to shorten the lineouts then, and they shortened them, and they had much better change from that. That was a great on-field decision and good heads up. That's why you need players who can make decisions on the field, because it wasn't going Ireland's way and they were really losing ground because of it. But yeah, they rectified the ship eventually. So Ireland are on the attack, but yeah, South Africa, there's a speculative kick from Faf, a nice bounce for Anensa, and he picks it up, and it looks like he's away. Great scramble defense from Ireland, and yeah, they recycle the ball. Somebody gets sat down by, by the South Africans. It's so hectic at this point, and yeah, it's like the South Africans get a penalty and slot it over for 3 points. So 3-0 in favour of South Africa. After the restart, there's another turnover for Ireland. They haven't like shortened the line out yet, but then we get the first scrum. So this is what a lot of people have been looking forward to, myself included. And yeah, it's pretty intense. It looks like great. I could like have a nap on top of them. Yeah, pretty intense, and you can see like it's going to be a battle. And but Ireland in the first one anyway, they hold their ground, and I think that's all they can hope to do against this South African pack, is just like hold their ball, and you know, whatever they get after that is a bonus. So yeah, first one goes pretty well for them. So Ireland, after shortening the line, finally win the ball, and they put it through hands. They have this like illusionist thing of like, now you see me, now you don't, in the back line, and the ball gets out to Keenan, coming in from fullback, and he spurts down the wing, and yeah, to be honest, Ireland are almost over. I think there's a knock on, and yeah, but both sides looking really dangerous when they get the ball in hand, and yeah, it's shaping up to be absolute classic here. Tagburn gets a good turnover again. He's such an expert. He's like in the level of marks, I think, in that department, and yeah, he gets a turnover, tries to offload, but Doris knocks it on, and you're just wondering, a few passes are not sticking for Ireland, and is that going to let them down in the long run? Because you can already see this is going to be a really tight game. South Africa playing well. Willemse is getting some nice touches on the ball. He looks fired up for this one, and uses that big side step a couple of times, makes a couple of half breaks, and South Africa well and truly in it. It's not like it's one-sided at all. It's back and forth big time, and you're just wondering who's going to break the deadlock with the try first. So it's all happening. Dialende like smacks Johnny Sexton. It's perfectly legal, but he hits him hard, and he goes down, and it looks like he might have an injury, but he manages to remain on the field. A few bumps and bruises, no doubt. Ringrose has already gone off for the HIA, and it's all happening. It's such an intense pace. I mean, these players is a testament to the fitness and the skill levels. They managed to maintain this for the majority of the 80 minutes. Then suddenly, Aki just cuts through the middle of the South Africans. Talked about this in my preview, but they get some change out of the midfield battle. And it's so surprising though that he has no support at all. And Aki is like quick off the mark, but he hasn't got like pace over a long distance. So there's absolutely nobody with him. So he has to kind of hold the ball up and kind of take it to ground, and the support does come. But Ireland recycle the ball and they spin it out, and Hansen there is on the wing, and they get a try, and you got to say it's kind of deserved at this point. Ireland put some good attack and play together, and they justifiably get the rewards. So Ireland go into the lead, and it is 7-3. At this point, you're thinking the game is slightly swinging in Ireland's favour, just because they managed to maintain that fast ruck speed. I was expecting South Africa to actually contest a little bit more than they did, but that's credit to the Irish pack. They're very mobile, and they were able to get around the park well and really secure the ball when they had it. So that fast ruck speed, and Gibson Park obviously is a beast, and plays the ball really quickly. So I think that it really sways the game in Ireland's favour in this first half. But South Africa are well and truly still in it, so it's interesting to see what's going to happen. Yeah, so half time, and there's nothing in it, just a score. So you're wondering what's going to happen in the second half. You're kind of waiting for the 7 to come on for South Africa, because Ireland have held them so far up front, and I think South Africa need a little bit of a pick-me-up. They're playing well, particularly their backline. I thought their backline was excellent, but they're going to need a little bit of a boost to turn this game around. But just one try will do it. So, and they definitely look like from broken play they can get something. So yeah, let's see how it goes. There's obviously been a little bit of talk in the halftime dressing room about Ireland playing more in South Africa's half, and they kick a lot in the first 10 minutes of the second half, and they're looking for territory, and they execute really well. All very well trying to go for territory, but your kicks have to be accurate, and Ireland certainly are. Sometimes it's like a hair's breadth in the margin and execution, but they get it done, and the lineout is functioning much better now, and that really saves Ireland. So they put South Africa under pressure. So playing South Africa really at their own game, territory and pressure. South Africa get a kickable penalty, and unbelievably it hits the post, and chaos breaks out in the Irish ranks. South Africa managed to regain the ball, and it goes out to Etzbeth, and this is one of the most amazing things in the match. He gets lifted up in the air, I think by Lowe, and then they just hold him in the air. I'm not even sure if it's legal, but they're ref, look, and it gets turned. It gets the ball goes to the advantage goes to Ireland. It's held up in the tackle. So that was absolutely amazing. Never seen that. and yeah, and then Elizabeth goes off, so he will not be happy about that. So yeah, if they meet each other again, I'm sure Elizabeth will have something to prove, and rightly so, really. Some of the Magnificent Seven come on, but it's not like the photograph moment that I was looking forward to when they all come on at the same time. It's kind of in dribs and drabs, but yeah, that was a little bit disappointed. Like, you know, I like the drama of situations, and it was kind of the drama was taken away little bit from the 7-1 split, but there you go. Eventually, all of the substitutions do come on, including Reinach, but yeah, it does make a difference in the scrum, because Ireland get absolutely destroyed in a couple of scrums, and you're thinking, right, okay, this could be a turning point in the match, because once the set piece is gone, like you're going to struggle to stay in the game. South Africa do get down the other end, and again they playing well, the set piece is going well, and eventually they get the opportunity to spin it out, and it's an easy try, like very much like the Irish try. They just like a long pass, and it's out on the wing, and I think it's Colby that gets over. So it's very, very close, 8-7 at this point. But yeah, a few kicks already being missed by the South Africans, so they're going to have to look at that a little bit, I think. Ireland respond well and go down the other end, and then they get a massive scrum penalty. They've been under the pump for the second half, certainly in the scrum, and it's been looking dire for them, but they do get the scrum penalty. I think Beelam, when he came on, he's a great tackler actually, and he did pretty well in the scrum, so I was kind of impressed by him. You know, like because of his hair and stuff like that, I tend to think he's a bit of a lightweight, but yeah, he actually did really well. I was very impressed by his tackling in the loose, and he held his own in the scrum, so that's all you can ask for from a prop. So I think he did really well actually. From that penalty, Ireland slotted over and they go in front, so the lead is just changing hands constantly. So I think it's 10-8 now to Ireland, and yeah, it's still all to play for, you know. It's like 30 minutes left. What I will say is that after this, there's quite a substantial break in play, a little bit of a respite for both teams, but there's so many Irish fans in the stadium, and they actually absolutely do an spine-tingling version of the Fields of Athenry, and oh, like those kind of intangibles, you can't really put a price on those, and yeah. Just a fantastic moment, I think, for this World Cup. So when play does restart, South Africa in the scrum again, they destroy Ireland. So Ireland, like, as soon as they switch off, South Africa absolutely wreck them, and they get a penalty, but it's missed. So I did talk about it in my preview about like South Africa, because of the kicking from the tee, they're going to give Ireland like nine or so points. And it's so close now, you're thinking, well, this could be very significant, because they Park earned them the penalty. There should be 3 points, but it isn't, and Ireland stay in the lead. South Africa still attacking, still playing well, and get down Ireland's end, and they get another penalty. This time they kick for touch, and you know, they have a great attacking position, attacking lineout. And Dion Ferry, who's come on, he throws not straight, and you're like, okay. So this is the issue when you don't have a specialist playing in the position. It's not like the 90% of the time when, you know, it's no problem, you can throw straight, it's great. It's that like a little 5% when it's a key moment in the match, and he just misses his throw on the line out, and the ball is turned over to Ireland. So little things like that, I think, yeah, just were the deciding factors in the game. It is a tense game. It's back and forth all the way through it. Ireland do get a penalty from the scrum, So the scrum was such a fantastic battleground, such a fantastic thing to watch. And it's kicked, and Ireland going into the further into the lead, 13-8, and there's not long left now. I think it is under 10 minutes left on the clock. So South Africa are capable of pulling something out of the hat. Can they do it in the last few minutes of the match? And indeed they do. They go on the attack again. They finally try to use that rolling maul, and it's well defended by Ireland, to be perfectly honest. And yeah, Ireland hold out. I think they might have got a turnover at the end there, but yeah, kick it out, and that's the final score, 13-8 to Ireland. Ooh, not a high scoring match, but certainly a very enjoyable one. Like I said, I made 18 pages of notes in the first half, and I didn't even talk about a lot of the stuff went on. So if you haven't watched it, just watch the full 80, and you know, you'll be rewarded by some fantastic rugby played by two great sides. To summarize the game, I think Ireland won because, as I mentioned in the preview, they won the breakdown, the ruck battle. They had more turnovers. I'm not sure of the stats, I haven't checked them, but I'm sure they were well in the lead in terms of turnovers gained at the ruck time. And South Africa a little bit off the pace there. The Irish pack is so mobile, and I think they use that to their advantage. I don't think the South Africans used that 7-1 split. If you're going to do it and have an impact, have a psychological and physical impact. I think they could have done more with it, because it was a little bit of an anticlimax. I'm not sure if they felt guilty or anything about all the media attention, but you know, who cares? Just use it. The back line of South Africa played well. I thought great hands, good speed. Colby, I don't think saw enough of the ball, and Arensa didn't see enough of the ball, but the centre battle was great, as I predicted. And I think South Africa's centres did well. Aki though is in fine form, and he's a tough man to handle at the moment. But it was just a great game, just tight, intense, very high level, very high skill level. And if you're a rugby fan, you can't ask for more than this. In the group stages of the World Cup, I think it was fantastic. And I'm getting too serious now. So anyway, yeah, great game. Congratulations, Ireland. South Africa, well played, and you know, you well and truly still in it. And yeah, let's see what happens now going into the quarterfinals. Can't wait. Pretty excited. So if you've watched this far, thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.